Everyone already knows who's the fastest man of all time. The answer is pretty obvious. It's Usain Bolt. But there have been several athletes over the years who have risen to become Usain Bolt's greatest competitors. So today, we've got a list of 7 superstar sprinters who all share one thing in common. They all want to beat Usain Bolt and his 100 and 200 meter world records. We'll start with the runners who actually raced against Usain Bolt, and then we'll go ahead and finish with the fastest athletes who have come after Bolt's retirement. Number 1, Tyson Gay.
Tyson Gay is you. Now he is your great rival. Yeah. He's like your Lex Luthor, right? I mean, you want to take this guy down. He has beaten you this year, am I right?
Yeah.
The chase after Usain Bolt takes us back to 2008 with one of America's greatest sprinters, Tyson Gay. The first big clash between Tyson Gay and Usain Bolt came when Gay did something impossible. He ran faster than Bolt's 100 meter world record. At the 2008 American Olympic Trials, Gay ran the 100 meter race in 9.68 seconds, which was just slightly faster than Bolt's 100 meter world record at the time of 9.72. But there was a catch in this 100 meter world record. That blazing fast 9.68 second 100 meter run by Tyson Gay was actually wind aided at a tailwind of 4.1 meters per second. So while the record didn't count in the end because of wind speeds, Gay's performance was still legendary. Fast forward just 2 years to the 2010 Stockholm Diamond League, and Tyson Gay is finally getting the chance to prove himself once again against Bolt. It was here for a 100 meter race where Tyson Gay did what many thought to be impossible. He beat a prime time Usain Bolt. Although I think it was pretty clear that it was the unusual circumstances of having 3 starting guns that actually won the race for Gay. After not 1 but 2 false starts, the sprinters were lining up for their 3rd attempt at starting this 100 meter race, and Bolt's rhythm already looked disrupted. His start to this 100 meter race was one of the slowest in his career, and Gay took full advantage of that. Tyson Gay ended up crossing the line in first at 9.84, with Bolt coming in right behind him at 9.97. Up next, we have another runner to you who holds the 2nd fastest 100 meter time ever, tied with Tyson Gay at 9.69 seconds. Number 2, Yohan Blake.
I eat 16 ripe banana every day. Because when I train, I tend to lose potassium, so I have to build it up back. And for me, it worked. More energy.
Back in 2008, a 19-year-old Yohan Blake joined Jamaica's track team to become teammates with none other than the focus of today's video, Usain Bolt. So while Yohan Blake was fast for his age, it was hard for him to escape the expectations of his legendary teammate Bolt. But when you're training alongside the fastest man on the planet Earth, you're bound to push your limits and reach new levels. Blake's first big moment against Usain Bolt was at the 2011 World Championships 100 meter final. This was set to be an epic 100 meter showdown with Bolt and Blake lined up side by side at the starting line. But in a shocking start for Jamaica, Bolt ended up false starting and gets disqualified from the race. This leaves Yohan Blake to seize the opportunity for himself and defend Jamaica's dominance. So, just 9.92 seconds after the starting gun goes off, Blake is crossing the finish line as the new 100 meter world champion, the youngest ever to do it at just 21. Fast forward to 2012, and Blake, now the reigning world champion, has a new level of confidence. He believed he was the fastest man on the planet, ready to beat Bolt at the upcoming Jamaican Olympic Trials in the 100 and 200 meter events. These races meant that the world champion, Yohan Blake, and the Olympic champion, Usain Bolt, were squaring off not once, but twice over 3 intense days. First up of the 2 events of the Jamaican Olympic Trials came the 100 meter. Over the first half of this 100 meter race, both sprinters had shaky starts, but in the final 50 meters, Blake ended up finding his rhythm and took the win over Usain Bolt. One day later came the 200 meter of the Jamaican Olympic Trials. The start of this race turned out to be much better than the 100 meter. In the 200, both Blake and Bolt got off the blocks quickly, but Blake again surged ahead, taking the win in the final stretch. Beating Usain Bolt is rare, but to do it in his main individual events, the 100 and 200 meters, within just days of one another, now that's practically unheard of, unless you're Yohan Blake. In my opinion, Blake is Bolt's greatest competitor to ever live and the best on this list. Let me know down in the comment section below, who do you think is Bolt's greatest competitor? Up next for our third runner to you, we have someone who's gone viral time and time again for nearly beating Usain Bolt. Stay tuned. Number 3, Andre deGrasse. When we talk about who's the closest to dethroning Usain Bolt, Andre deGrasse is just one of those names that stands out towards the last half of Bolt's career. One of deGrasse's first big face-offs against Usain Bolt came in 2015, when a 21-year-old deGrasse faced off against a seasoned 29-year-old Bolt at the World Championships in Beijing. It was here that deGrasse really showed the world that he belonged on the big stage. In the 100 final, he tied for bronze at 9.92, which made himself a serious contender among the fastest sprinters on the planet. deGrasse proved his potential once again a year later at the 2016 Rio Olympics. Here in the 100 final, deGrasse earned another bronze at 9.91, while Bolt, of course, took home the gold. But deGrasse wasn't done chasing Bolt just yet. It was in the 200-meter semifinal of the Rio Olympics that the rivalry truly became iconic. In this race, deGrasse pushed Bolt to his limits, running stride for stride with the Jamaican, creating a photo that went viral overnight. Although deGrasse wasn't quite as close in the 200-meter final, he still secured a silver medal just behind Usain Bolt. By the end of deGrasse's career, he had established himself as one of the top sprinters of his generation and a legitimate challenger to Bolt's dominance. As we move on to our next runner to you, we're diving into the story of an athlete who stood out across multiple sports in high school. Number 4, Tyreek Hill. This athlete is the only other person besides Usain Bolt in the world of sports to have earned the nickname Cheetah, and he didn't get it from sprinting on the track. Tyreek Hill, who is now a star in the NFL, picked up the nickname Cheetah thanks to his insane speed on the football field. Now, I know what you're thinking, why is a football star on this list? Well, this speed has roots that goes way back to his high school sprinting days, where he faced off and beat many future Olympians like Kenny Benerick, Trayvon Bromell, and Christian Coleman. These are some of America's top sprinters of today, and Hill was able to beat them on the track when they were all just teenagers. Now, we may never know just how fast Tyreek Hill could have been if he pursued a professional career on the track, but that won't stop people from comparing him and his speed to the best sprinters in the world. As soon as Hill started lighting up the NFL, it wasn't long before major networks began to draw comparisons to Usain Bolt. And yeah, Hill is seriously fast. He once hit 22.6 miles per hour in a game, but when you really dig into the numbers, things aren't as straightforward as they seem. Hill had a tailwind of 1.5 meters per second, helping him run faster in that game, while Bolt and the Olympic sprinters were running against a slight headwind of 0.5 meters per second. Still, Tyreek Hill's speed continues to spark speculation among track and field enthusiasts. The question remains, just how fast could Tyreek Hill have been if he stayed on the track? This draws us to comparison of our next runner to you. Number 5, Christian Coleman. Now that we've looked at some of the best runners who went toe-to-toe with Usain Bolt, it's time to focus on the top sprinters of today. One of the biggest highlights of Coleman's career came in 2017. In the 100-meter World Championships final, he lined up against some of the fastest sprinters in the world, including Usain Bolt, who was running his last individual race before retirement. In a thrilling 100-meter showdown, Coleman finished second in a time of 9.94 seconds, just behind Justin Gatlin and ahead of Bolt, who took bronze. But this wasn't the last time Coleman would grab headlines over Bolt. In 2019, Christian Coleman came close to making history. At the World Championships in Doha, he won the 100-meter final with a blistering time of 9.76 seconds. It was the fastest time since Bolt's iconic 9.58 world record back in 2009. Now, this moment just solidified Coleman as the fastest man in the world at this time. Could Coleman be the one to finally dethrone the fastest man in history? Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned to find out. Next up, we're diving into another sprinter who's made waves in the world of track and field, all while stirring up some beef with the NBA, which we probably won't cover, but we do have a video on that if you want to go ahead and check that out. Number 6, Noah Lyles. As we continue to look at sprinters who have come close to challenging Usain Bolt's dominance, Noah Lyles is the name that stands out for America. Known for his electrifying speed and vibrant personality, Lyles is a serious contender in the world of sprinting, especially in the 200-meter event. He made waves early on in his career. But it wasn't until 2019 at the World Championships in Doha where Lyles truly cemented his place in the conversation amongst the greatest sprinters to ever live. When Lyles clocked a 1983 200 in the final to win gold, comparisons to Bolt were inevitable. Later on that year, Lyles dropped his personal record in the 200 to 1950 at the 2019 US Championships. This was the 4th fastest time ever recorded, and it's one of the closest anyone's ever gotten to Usain Bolt's 200-meter world record. One of the most talked about moments in Lyles' career came in 2020 at the Inspiration Games. Noah Lyles appeared to have shattered Bolt's 200-meter world record with a time of 1890 seconds. However, it was soon revealed that a track measurement error meant Lyles had only run 185 meters, not the usual 200. So while the confusion overtook the moment, it did highlight just how fast Lyles can be. So with this incredible speed and near flawless technique, Lyles remains one of the most exciting figures in the sport of track and field. As we move on to the last runner to you who's come close to dethroning Bolt, we meet the youngest of them all who's already broken multiple world records set by Usain Bolt at an early age. Number 7. Aran Nan. Wrapping up our list of Usain Bolt's greatest competitors is Aran Nan. This young sensation at just 17 years old already made a name for himself, and the comparisons to Bolt were hard to ignore given his record-breaking performances in the 200-meter event. Nan's rise to the top has been nothing short of extraordinary. Starting as a football player, he shifted his focus to track and field, and his potential was immediately clear. By 17, Nan was already breaking Bolt's records, clocking an incredible 20.11 seconds in the 200, which smashed Bolt's under 18 world record. But this was only the beginning. Later in the same year, in 2021 at the US Olympic Trials, Nan improved that record to 19.84 seconds. This broke Bolt's under 20 200-meter world record as a 17-year-old. This performance not only earned him the spot at the Tokyo Olympics, but it also made Nan the youngest American male athlete to qualify for the Olympics since 1964. And here at the Tokyo Olympics, Nan didn't disappoint. He made it all the way to the 200-meter final and finished 4th and narrowly missed out on a medal. The real buzz around Nan's potential to challenge Bolt came in June of 2022. Here, Nan ran the 200-meter in 19.49 seconds, which made him the fastest under 20 sprinter ever, the 4th fastest man in history, and just 0.3 seconds behind Bolt's world record of 19.19 seconds. Nan's career is still in its early stages, but with his blazing speed and youth on his side, it's only a matter of time before he breaks Bolt's records. Aran Nan, along with the rest of our 7 competitors to Usain Bolt's legacy, are just among some of the best to ever run, and we still have a lot more sprinters to cover. Let me know down in the comment section below, who do you think should have made this list? Thank you all for watching. I'll be seeing you the next time we bring runners to you.